My name is Rebecca Michael, and this is the Independent Center podcast. I am here with
Daniel Radcliffe,
and we are here to talk to one of our veterans who are in the Veteran in Charge program, and we are joined by not only the veteran, but her veteran coach. So, Marilyn, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Marilyn Mathis, and I'm glad to be here this morning with you to tell you all about my story.
Oh, we're excited to have you. Michelle?
My name is Michelle Kirby, and I'm Marilyn's veteran coach for the Independent Center.
Excellent.
Awesome. So let's start from the beginning, Miss Marilyn. So where are you from?
I'm from Orlando, Florida.
Okay. Awesome. And how old were you when you joined the military?
Around 24, 25.
Around 24, 25?
Mm-hmm.
What did that decision look like for you? Was it like a life goal to serve, or was it just like a decision of, I need a little extra income, I'm going to join the military? How did that look?
It was really weird.
I'm interested in weird.
Okay, weird is,
Yes.
I was married and I had 2 children, and my husband and I, at that time, we weren't getting along that well. And a friend of mine was telling me about her fiance that was in the military and about all the benefits that you could get while you were there. Mm-hmm. And I figured, I said, well, you know what? Since I'm doing all of the load on as a family, let me see if I can do this. I didn't actually have plans to stay in as long as I stayed. It was supposed to be like a trial and error thing, to let him see how it was to be the mom and the wife and do everything. Well, once I did get in, I didn't get out.
What branch of the military did you serve?
In the Army.
In the Army.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Yep, I went to basic training at Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and I did my AIT at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, and I was 76 Yankee, which is supply.
Okay.
Which that in details a lot. When you first come in, you don't realize how much it does until you start going to different units that you're going to be stationed at.
Sure.
Because being supply, you can go to any unit there is. Instead of like somebody say that's has a specialty MOS, where they can only go to certain units. They can only go to certain stations.
Okay.
With me, I've been in infantry, MP, ordnance, so
So you've been everywhere.
just about. And then also, I got training. I went to school to be an armor, because part of being supply, the arms room is attached to you also.
Okay.
So you have to get the security clearance, and then you have to go to school to learn about all the weapons that you have in your arms room, so that you can issue them out to your troops as they come in to go out for training or whatever.
Right.
So that's 2 jobs in one. Because you
Sounds
could
cool.
do, I could get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, open the arms room, issue weapons, lock it back up, and then go to the supply room where I issue out toilet paper and ink pens.
That's where my brain went to. I'm like, I'm wondering if the soldiers really relied on her to make sure that they had toilet paper. So you answered the question that popped in my head.
Yeah.
So you must have saw that thought bubble.
Toilet paper over weapons anyway.
I know, right? Let's really decide what's the best, best thing that you need.
And then I did also at Fort Jackson. I went back to Fort Jackson as permanent party. I wasn't in training, and I worked in a training unit. I was an armor there and supply, and with supply there, that entailed the linen, for the trainees when they came in.
Okay.
You had to pass out the linen. Well, actually, the trainees got the 2 sheets and a pillowcase and a pillow, and they had to sign for it. So if they didn't know anything about being responsible, that was their beginning of responsibility.
So you really had to train some of these soldiers how to be responsible for just some basic needs for themselves.
And some of the troops were fresh out of high school.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they became like your babies in a sense.
Yes, they did. And some of them acted just like babies in a sense. I've had troops to break down and cry, because the basic training is nothing but to mentally train you.
Right.
And where I came from, being raised up in a household of nothing but females, I was mentally ready. I was from old school.
Gotcha.
My aunt said, do this. You say, yes, ma'am, and you go ahead on and do it.
Yeah.
You ask no questions. Children nowadays, well, why?
Right.
I don't feel like doing it right now.
Explain
Can I
that
do
to
it?
me.
Right. I thought my aunt was so mean, and I have learned to appreciate what she taught me.
Sure.
So much. I was sitting down the other day in my chair, and I was thinking, oh, I wish my aunt was here right now. And I caught myself because I'm like, did I just say that? Because I couldn't believe that I was like, I'm wishing for my aunt, the person that I thought was so mean and such a witch, and she wasn't. She was preparing me for life ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So, through your service, was there a point when you realized, hey, I'm really in this? This is what I'm going to be doing for a while. Did you ever reach that point? And if so, when was that point?
I would say it was, let's see, I went to Korea. That was my first duty station. And then I left Korea and I went to Fort Polk, Louisiana. And after being in those 2 stations, I felt that if I could deal with those 2 stations, I could deal with anything. Because no other station could have been as wonderful, so to say.
To prepare you, maybe?
Yeah, for it. And Korea was my first duty station, and that was going all the way across the United States into another country. That was something that was new and exciting and different. Fort Polk, we stayed in the field a whole lot. That was my real first in the field station, where we went out and pitched a tent, had sleeping bags, and you slept out on the ground. Your restroom or your lavatory was a hole you dug into the ground. Yes, and you did what you had to do. And in the morning, if you have to go to the bathroom, first thing in the morning, you have to put on every stitch of clothing, all of your equipment. And that can be kind of tedious. You have to get up to put everything on to go out, just to go to the bathroom.
So you better, plan ahead and make sure you're not at that point where it's going to be a rush job.
Right. That or find a way of getting around it.
Can you imagine the panic of having to put on all of your gear just
and then you have to
go to the bathroom?
After you put on your your uniform. You have NBC gear that you have to put on. You got to put on all that, and then you got your LBE. That's your belt with all the tools, and you got your helmet, and you got to carry a weapon everywhere you go.
Gotcha.
Yes, everywhere, no matter where it is, you got to carry it. Don't leave it. Don't lock it up in no lockers or say I'm gonna leave it with somebody. That is your responsibility right there.
Sure.
You can shut down a whole unit if you lose. I mean, you can actually shut the whole post down if somebody loses their weapon or parts of it.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah, they
Wow.
will close it down and search from top to bottom.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
but Fort Polk was like no other. I don't ever want to go. If I hear I'm going by Fort Polk, I'm going real fast.
How many years did you spend in the military?
12 and a half.
Nice.
Yeah,
Very cool.
it was quite an adventure. I saw things that I probably would have never seen
Yeah.
if I hadn't have joined the military.
Right.
Right. And what around what timeline was this? Around the years?
It was from 1980 to 92.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and my daughter got to travel with me some.
Nice.
So, and she graduated from high school in Bad Kirchnot, Germany in 92.
Nice.
So, yeah, she enjoyed that too.
That's
Because
awesome.
we got to go and visit different countries and stuff. It was really, really nice.
Wow.
You know, then the shopping was good. I'm a shopaholic.
Let's talk about shopping. Now we can talk about some shopping.
I'm a shopaholic, okay? Now in Germany, the stores closed, I think it was like at 1 o'clock, like on Saturday. They might open at 8 to 1, if I'm not mistaken. Might be longer now. Now, I could do some shopping in that time.
She had to be strategic, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
I did. I knew.
Sort of like going to the bathroom in the morning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Be strategic. Make sure you get
Right.
you
Get to
plan.
all the shops that I wanted to go to and pick up what I needed, come out. Now, I would always get stuck in the perfume shop.
Oh, okay.
I love perfume.
You like your fragrances, huh?
I do. Yes. That was fun.
That's so awesome.
You know, because we had what it was called, Head Start when you first get to Germany.
Okay.
And it's a school you go to where you learn German and some of the customs and
okay.
different things. And then at the end of it, they take you out into the city where the stores are. And they tell you have an hour and a half to shop and probably get something to eat or whatever.
Uh-huh.
I was the only one on the whole bus that came back with bags.
You were
Because
successful.
That's right. 'Cause like
Mission
I said,
completed.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
what you do, you go in the store, you see what you like, then you go to another store and you kind of price the differences.
Uh-huh.
And you remember where you saw it at the cheapest. So near the end of, you know that you got so much time left.
Uh-huh.
You go back to the stores that had the cheapest, and then you bought.
Nice.
And that's how I did it.
Again, strategic thought.
Yeah, yeah. Don't lollygag around in the stores like you got
I like
all
that.
day.
I'm not a
here.
lollygagger in stores
that.
either, so I get you.
Well, I used to lollygag. I could go in the store. You just must have dropped me off at the store and come back, pick me up when it's closed, and I still won't be through.
Good gracious.
Yeah,
Great.
Oh,
my
my.
daughter can't stand to take me to the store. She cannot stand it. She said, "Get what you have to get,
Yeah.
and come on
That's
out."
how I am. Like, just go get it. You already know what you're going for.
And
So
that's
just go
okay.
get it
Then you get out.
and then pay for it and get out.
No, see, there's a conspiracy in the stores.
Oh no!
Let's do it.
Let's hear this.
In like say in the meat section, they'll have the chicken, say some chicken wings at one end for a certain price, and you pick that up and you put down and say, "Oh, that's really good." Then you walk around and walk down the meat aisle, and you find out they have a pack. What do you want to call it? A super saver pack.
Sure. A
big long pack of meat with different meats in it for like $19. And you look at what's the $19 compared to the one little pack that you have, and you say, which one is do I get the most? So you get the $19 one versus the one pack of chicken that you was gonna get. Because the $19 one at Safeway has 4 different meats in it. So you come out better. That's what they do. They make you have to
that's how they get you.
Yeah, that's how they. You gotta go back and forth and stuff.
Yeah, I'm a tunnel vision person. I know exactly where I'm going, what I'm getting, and then don't distract me from that mission, and I'll get out.
But now I don't shop like that. That was in my younger days. I slowed down a lot, and I go in and get what I have to get.
Gotcha.
And every now and then I'll veer, and because I can't stand for long periods of time.
Sure.
So I get in the little riding cart, and that's a advantage too, because the riding cart only has a basket that's so big, so I can't put a whole lot.
Oh, there you go.
Once again, strategic.
Yeah, exactly.
You learn a lot over the years.
So, Miss Marilyn, what was the highest rank that you reached in the military?
E5.
Nice. And so, did you ever have to go into combat or?
No, I didn't have to go into combat.
Okay.
But even not going into combat, I was in combat.
I understand.
Because when you went to the field, it was as if you were in combat.
Sure. Yeah.
So you had to do everything combat style. You didn't sit around lollygagging, talking, and eating. You sat at one place and somebody else sat somewhere else. So you had to, especially when we went to Fort Irving, California. That was the real test right there, because helicopters were flying, dust was going on, and if you were eating, you kept eating. You didn't say, "Oh, let me put something over my food." Combat, and they did fire live rounds at you.
Oh wow.
Excuse me?
He's like, what?
Wait a minute. I thought you joined the military to get away from that.
No, you joined the military to learn how to do that. How to learn how to shoot around a corner.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, make sure your weapon goes around the corner, but you don't go around the corner.
I understand.
Yeah, and you got to look out for your buddy.
Yeah.
So you learn how to be a little bit more braver than before. Yeah. So if you came in and you're from the streets, that helped a lot too.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'll tell you about PLDC. That's the school you go to before you get promoted to E5.
Okay.
And we went to, it was Fort Benning, Georgia. And the last thing we had to do was land nav. And I had my buddy, and he and I went out. They give you a map, and you got to shoot an azimuth. And I was so nervous. Out in the woods, snakes and stuff. But
you're from Florida. You should be used to snakes.
Yeah, right.
I'm with you. I'm not big on snakes
I'm
either.
not big on snakes. I don't care where you're from.
Yeah, I'm with you.
No. But he was from Kentucky. And that young man, he brought us out of the woods. He would tell me, okay, you walk 5 feet to the left. I go 3 feet to the right. And we got to where we needed to go. And I heard that the class after the class that I graduated from, you went out by yourself.
Wow.
I was so lucky.
Yeah, no
That
kidding.
was, I was like, wow, thank you, Lord. Yeah.
Nice.
So while you were during your service, did you acquire a disability during service, or did you leave the military with an honorable discharge without a disability rating?
Okay, I got out with an honorable discharge, and I acquired my disability while I was in there.
Okay.
Problems with my knees, and I have high blood pressure. The diabetes came along afterwards.
Okay.
I have manic depression. And there are times when, even though I didn't go to war, where I just want to be by myself.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
don't want to be bothered with anybody. And I might go in the backyard or go in my room and shut the door just to be by myself.
Sure.
Yeah, so a lot of it I got while I was in the military.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And I can only imagine what that would feel like. You know, you've served your country. When you left the military, do you feel that that our country did a good job of looking out for you and making sure that you were given the promised benefits?
Yes. I say yes. I know there are some people who think no, they didn't.
Sure.
That's their opinion. But I know for a fact the military did what it said it was going to do, and the VA is done above, what I ever expected. I had no clue about this program. I had gotten to a point where I couldn't. How do I want to say it? I could stay home, but I couldn't stay home alone. I needed someone there to help
Sure.
with doing things. And the big program it came in right on time. It just stepped in.
Nice.
And I'm happy.
Right.
And I tell anybody that I meet about it,
Sure.
Nice.
maybe everybody's not cut out for it. Maybe they're cut out for it for a short time.
Right.
And then there are those like myself that I'll be here forever.
Right. And so, with that being said, Michelle, could you explain what the VIC program is for our listeners?
Sure. It's a benefit the VA provides. It's for veterans of any income level. It's like home health care paid by the VA, and you don't have to have a service-connected disability to be part. You just have to be a veteran. And the way you are eligible for this program is by having medical need. If you have needs in your home to help you with things like dressing or bathing or eating, anything of a personal nature like that, then you could be eligible for the program. So there's different levels of funding, and the VA gives you a budget. So the veteran never actually gets cash money, but they get a budget to work with, and they get to decide how to spend that money. And so, like Marilyn, she spends all her money on her attendant care, which she gets to choose. She gets to hire and fire who she wants. And
Oh, the power I
Yeah.
see in that face.
that's a lot of responsibility, and
She's like,
she
yes.
works with it really well. Some of the veterans, it's too much, and some veterans need an authorized rep. So if you can't do that yourself, you can have a representative do that for you.
Oh, very
But
cool.
most of that money is spent on attendant care.
Is there any type of income guidelines or anything?
Nope.
Awesome.
Nope. The only requirement is that you are medically eligible and that you're a veteran.
Awesome.
Nice. So how is the budget determined? Is that a VA number that's given, or do we
It's
look
a
at the veteran?
calculation that we kind of go through when we do our evaluation when we first meet the veteran.
Okay.
And then the VA kind of makes that final decision of what level they're going to be at.
Okay.
They have levels A through K, A being the least, K being the most. And the more medical need you have, the need for help, the higher your budget will be.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Miss Marilyn, how did you find out about the VIC program?
Oh, okay. That was through one of the veterans, through my social worker. I have a social worker at the VA, and she was telling me about it. And then I had other people that was talking about it also, but they didn't call it that. What did they call it? Aid in attendance. That's what someone called it. It was aid in attendance.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Right. So what was that feeling when somebody introduced this idea of this program of being able to receive supports in your home and being able to hire and fire your attendant, or being able to choose the type of care you were receiving? How did that feel? Was that an empowering moment for you?
It was, because I know what I needed, and I knew the type of person that I would like to have there with me. And if I wasn't comfortable with that person, and actually, it didn't actually start out with the Independence Center.
Okay.
It actually started out with the VA sending people to the house, kind of like in-home care, where someone would come in and they would help, say on a Monday, Wednesday, and a Friday. Someone would come in and do some cleaning for me, or wash clothes, or somebody might go to the store. It was always a different person that would come in and do it.
Okay.
Then once I got into the VIC program, it became who I wanted to. And I chose my daughter. And her name, by the way, is Michelle also.
Oh, okay.
But these are two different Michelles. They're totally...
Like polar opposites, or?
God.
Okay.
I think I fired my daughter in my mind 100 times or more.
Oh man.
She gets on my last nerve.
You should just fire her. So when she listens to this, just go ahead and fire her
Yeah.
over the air.
Oh, I've done it. I'm like, you need to leave.
We love you, Michelle.
Yeah, let's just make sure that we know.
Michelle
that she
does a
knows
good
that.
job.
Yeah.
But that's my girl. She looks out for her mom.
Nice.
She does a
That's
She
good job.
wonderful.
fusses,
Yeah.
she fusses at me, and that's probably one thing I don't like, is when she fusses,
Yeah.
because she can go on and on and on, and especially when I know she's right. I'm like,
yeah.
okay, fuss, get it over with.
I think Becca's relating right
Yeah,
now.
I relate to that with my parents. So yeah, I feel what Michelle is going through, and
Yeah,
you know,
because
I get
she
that.
lives with me. I have my daughter, my granddaughter, and my great-granddaughter, and we all live in the same house.
4 generations in one
That's beautiful.
house.
Not even not beautiful.
Not
See,
beautiful at all, huh?
This is what I mean by when I say I thank my aunt. There's no way my aunt would have a stroke if she lived in the house with my kids, because they're gonna speak their mind. They're gonna speak their mind. I'm like, why can't you just simply do as I ask? That's all I ask you to do. You know, I think they're training the 4-year-old to be like that too.
Even the 4-year-old?
Even the 4-year-old. But Gigi, why? Yeah, the 4-year-old, she's a handful. But she keeps me going.
And so, what was that experience like when? So, has Michelle been your Vic coach the entire time you've been a part of the Vic program?
Yes.
So, describe that first introduction.
My daughter has worked in the medical field before, so she's done some home health care with other people.
Sure.
So she knew exactly just about what she was gonna have to deal with when it came to me. And she came from Florida. I called her up and told her, I need you to come and take care of me now. So she dropped everything and she came out. And she started taking care of me because she brought her son at the time. So I did. I had a house full of people living with me. And she's been doing a real good job, you know, of taking care of me. Every now and then I have to light a fire under her and stuff. But that's with anybody.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm kind of picky about certain things.
Sure.
Yeah, and she's like, but why do I need the super clean, say, the stove when I'm going to use it another hour or so? Because I want it.
I have standards, and that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was really easy for her to come in and pick up and keep on going with it.
Sure.
Right. And then with meeting Michelle Kirby, your current Vic coach, how was that first interaction? Were you pleasantly surprised? Like, man, this is kind of what I've been looking for. Or this might work out. You know, how did you feel about that first interaction between yourself and Michelle?
It was awesome. Michelle's an awesome person to get along with, and she's easy to talk to. I can call her up any time of the day. I can even leave her messages in the evening after hours, and she'll get back with me. Nice. She's never mean or harsh. She has a pleasant disposition all the time. Nice. I want to know what her secret is.
I want to know which Michelle you're talking about.
I know, right?
No, I'm just playing.
You did work with Ashley for a little bit. Remember Ashley?
Right.
Yeah.
Who could ever forget
She
Ashley?
was the very beginning.
Yeah. How is she doing?
She's doing great. She asks about you a lot.
She does?
Yeah.
Well, then she knows my phone number. She needs to give me a call.
I'll bring her with me.
That sounds like a winner.
Nice.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll
just got
have
Ashley
lunch
in
or
trouble.
something.
I know, we did get Ashley in trouble.
I like
Didn't
that.
mean to step in it, but I guess we did, didn't we?
We did. Right.
No, Ashley loved working with you, and she'd love to see you again.
That would be super.
Yeah, I'll bring her next time.
So, what were some of the things that you were unable to really do prior to the Vic program that you are currently able to do now?
Okay. I had problems getting in and out of my tub. And since I've been in the big program, as a matter of fact, okay, there is an allowance which veteran is authorized, and I won't say, it's different prices, different amounts of money for different levels of disability.
Sure.
And I had, what did I do? Oh, I had my bathroom redone. I had my tub removed and just a shower in it put in with a bench where I could sit down.
Nice.
And then the shower head. And then at the bottom where the tub was at, where I had to step over, it's just a little hump where the water doesn't go out into the main floor.
Yeah.
That I can just walk into the shower.
Nice.
Now, that was something, and the Vic program also, they gave me a chair, a stair glider.
Nice.
A stair glider. And then with the same company that did the shower, they put the stair glider in for me.
Wow.
So when I find a company that's good with doing some of the things that I need to have done around the house, I kind of stick with them.
Yeah.
I try not to go from here to there because my memory is not that great. And if I don't write a phone number down in a phone book and write on a piece of paper, I will have forgotten.
Sure.
And I don't know how many times I've called my Michelle and asked
Yeah, you can
for a
call
phone
anytime.
number for Jim.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
We've connected her with some veteran volunteers to help her with some of her yard work and
Oh,
landscaping.
right on.
Nice. That's wonderful.
That is
That's great.
really is helpful to get into a program that looks at the individual and their own specific needs and be able to connect them with services and other vets that, can either use the work or enjoy, the camaraderie of being, working with another veteran. So that's really cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
Yeah. If you could give a message, well, this is a two-part question. If you could give a message to veterans in regards to the VIC program, what message would that be?
Sign up and in a hurry. Space is limited. First come, first serve. And don't you miss the boat.
Right.
If you snooze, you lose.
There you go. And then the second piece of that question would be, if you could leave a message behind for future generations that will follow you. You said you have a great granddaughter. What would that message be?
I would tell her to be true to herself and strive for the best out of life, and be a giving person, but give from your heart. Don't give so that somebody can say, oh, they did this. If you're going to do something for someone, do it from your heart, or don't do it at all, because it's useless. It's a useless thing.
Right.
Yep, and to love wholeheartedly, because the love that you give, you'll get back tenfold.
Powerful message.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much, Marilyn. We had a good time talking with you. I learned a lot. Yes. We already know that the priority is toilet paper versus ammunition, weapons.
That's right.
And we also know that the supply clerks are probably the most the least talked about, but probably most needed in the military.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
You guys probably keep the soldiers running.
Right. And that's a person you need to be friends with.
Yes.
Exactly.
You need to be friends with. Supply.
Okay.
Your pack. That's where who fills out your paperwork for your money.
Oh, okay.
And you definitely need to be friends with the cooks for your food.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Now we have a list. So any of those the military soldiers listening, just make sure you make friends with all of those essential
That's right.
departments to make sure that
right.
you get paid, you get the correct food, and then you have the soft toilet paper.
And
That's
when
right.
you go to Germany, shop from 8 to 1.
Exactly.
Write this before you leave.
Right. Write this down, y'all.
Yes, before you go, be prepared.
That's right.
And so, Miss Marilyn, on behalf of the podcast, myself and Rebecca and Michelle and the Independence Center, thank you for your service.
You're quite welcome.
appreciate
Any
it.
day, let me know. I'm ready.
All
I
right.
understand they're asking for people to come back in now. They're sending the troops over.
Oh, okay.
Yep,
Had
I
no
got some
idea.
toilet paper.
She's ready.
You would go back? You would
I'm
go
ready.
back, Miss Marilyn?
I'm ready.
Can you imagine? She's like, let's go.
Right.
That's
Would
right.
you would actually go back if you could. If you actually had no conditions that limited you from enrolling, would you go back?
I would.
You would do it all again?
Okay.
I would.
That's good.
I would have
times.
a different MOS, but I would go back.
Nice.
Nice.
I would go back. I would be hospitality. Yes.
Gotcha.
And, yeah, that's what I would be.
Nice.
That's good to know.
And thank you for having me.
No problem. Thank
I
you.
enjoyed myself.
Yeah, we enjoyed you.
Yes,
we enjoyed
definitely. Well, if you are interested in following our podcast or even any more information about the VIC program, you're welcome to go to our website, www.theindependencenter.org, and you can just search for VIC, and it'll pop up with all the great information, and you'll get linked in with their information and referral specialist / peer support specialist, Marco, and he will be able to guide you through the process with the VIC program. If you are looking to access this podcast accessibly, you can go to the YouTube channel, Real Empowerment, and you will be able to access any of our podcasts through captions along with video. And then if you want to like and share this podcast, we'll greatly appreciate all the shares and the subscribers. I think that's all we got.
I think that's all we got.
All right.
So we'll just
Thank you
sign.
so much, Marilyn.
You're quite welcome.
Thank you, Michelle.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
All right.
Until next time.
Peace.